All right, Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakha HaKodash. The honors go out to the apostles, elders, great millstone, who rule and teach well. Shalom Wabarakim to you, brothers and sisters out there. All right, this is Brother Malachi from the Great Millstone Nashville camp, or branch, coming back at you with, Lord willing, an edifying lesson. I just wanted to touch on the topic of brotherhood. All right, brotherhood. Many members, because we're one body. All right, all of us all of us sincere believers, we make up one body. All right, the body of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right, because like brothers have gone into, I'm sure you may have seen videos in the past. That lone wolf spirit, it's just not the way to be. That's no way to carry yourself. Matter of fact, I actually got the perfect scripture to start with. I know it's in Ecclesiastes. Hold on, let me just do it like this. Bruh, come on, man. This is just ridiculous. Alright. So I was in the right chapter. Yep. Salaki. I doubted myself. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, 2 are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? All right, so like I said, 2 are better than 1. All right, a pair. It says, for if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he had not another to help him up. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? So it shows the importance of a body, of team, all right, of a platoon, okay, of a camp, all right? Because you got some guys out there, no camp Israelites, they just want to do everything solo, dolo. And the Lord ain't dealing with that, man. All right, the Lord is not dealing with that. All right, because like the scripture said, which of course, you have the scenarios where a brother may be by himself, but that's different. All right, he didn't choose to be by himself in that sense. All right, he's not like, nah, I don't want to be with brothers, I want to be alone. No, it's just because there was nobody around him. All right, that's a completely different situation. He was the Yahweh Shemel Shai stationed that particular man by himself. All right, that is not the same situation as you leaving a camp or refusing to join a camp because you want to be by yourself. No, it's not the same spirit at all. All right, because like I said in verse 10, it's a support system, man. Now you don't want to rely on brothers in the sense of you don't ever handle your own business. All right, but at the same time, you understand that if things get too hectic for you or you need advice or something, the brothers are there. All right, the brotherhood is there. Whether it's emotional, physical, financial support, whatever it may be, we help one another. All right, to the best of our ability. We exercise charity. All right. We give on to one another, in all aspects. Okay. You got to be there for a brother, emotionally when he's going through some rough shit. All right. Maybe he's hungry. He ain't got much money when y'all go out to eat, cover his food, pick a brother up, or stay up late with a brother, whatever, the Lord, has put us, us brothers through a lot of different situations and scenarios where we have needed one another. All right. And that's the importance of the body. And we all have different, things that we're good at. Different, I guess you could even say insight on certain things. We've all went through different lifestyles. All right. But at the end of the day, we're all one. All right, we're all fighting for one common purpose, one common goal. Right, we're all seeking to serve Yahweh Shemel Shai in sincerity and in truth. All right, so why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that alone? Why would you want to do this alone? You know, that's the question that you need to ask yourself. For those of you that are in that lone wolf spirit, to where you always want to be by yourself, you don't ever want to be around brothers. Why do you think you're like that? What benefit does that have? Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody definitely appreciates their alone time. All right, we're not saying you got to be around a brother all the time, but you should definitely be involving yourself with the brotherhood, especially while you can. Because keep in mind, when Jacob's trouble pops off, that might not be an option. You see? And you don't want to be that guy, because like you called a brother in our camp would say, you don't want to be that dude that, you know, gets to Jacob's trouble and now he's wishing he was with the brother. Well, the Lord had brothers at your arm's reach for the past few years, and you didn't tap in. All right, and now that you're in a state of turmoil and now you don't know what to do, well, I wish I had a brother. Well, you should have been dealing with the brothers before, all right, to get you built up for that time. That's another thing. You know, fellowship is constantly, well, not constantly, but by certain, you know, individuals, and I'm not thinking about anybody particular. This isn't like a rebuke lesson. I'm just saying this in general because we've dealt with dudes in the past, and we've heard about dudes over videos and stuff. You know, they overlook the fellowship, and they're like, yeah, you know, it's just Jake playing 2K, you know, with a Modelo, you know, or whatever the fuck, you know, like, oh, it's just simple, it's just folly. No, all right, it's bigger than that. You're with brothers, you're bonding, all right, you're growing in the spirit, and a lot of times you have spiritual conversations, and you hear pieces of advice, all right, tips, you know, you sharpen up your mindset and your knowledge. You know, you become closer in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right, we don't call each other brother for no reason. We're fellow yokemen. All right, and that's just one of my personal, you know, things and how I think. You know, the brothers that I'm out there going to camp with, which is what? Spiritual war. I should be able to get some chicken or a drink or you know, kick it with you for, you know, afterwards. You know, I don't want to be around men you know, that never want to fellowship, never want to be around. They're never going out to eat. They're never, you know, coming, you know, to the crib or something. You know, they just always got an excuse, or they're always tired. You know, now certain brothers, you know, jobs and stuff may get in the way, but brothers, you know, and some brothers, you know, may be around less than others, but they're still around. Okay. But then you got that one guy that just is always in the back of the room. Never wants to be around nobody, never asking to hang out. All right. After camp, he just slides out even though he don't got work tonight or tomorrow. You know, it's just bogus. All right? It's just bogus as hell. You know, we're going to war. We are fighting alongside one another. Right? We should, you know, have some type of connection. All right? And ultimately, you know, it's just, you got to savor it. You got to savor the brotherhood while we got it. All right, because like I was talking about, you know, when hell breaks loose, we're not going to have these commodities. All right, is that the right word? Let me look that up. Okay, well, that's definitely not the right word. Raw materials. I would say the brotherhood is definitely essential for growth. Commodity was not the right word. All right, but we're not going to have this resource, rather. All right, Hebrews 13:1, it says, let brotherly love continue. All right, and that's exactly, you know, and every time you hang out with brothers, you always come out of it with more wisdom. More wisdom, or maybe you know, been having a long day or a long week. Now you get together with a brother, you do a lesson, and y'all, you know, hang out for a little bit, chop it up, and now you go home and you got a smile on your face. The brotherhood is there for a reason, man. Okay? It's there for a reason. Yahweh Shemel Shai didn't create many members for nothing. All right, and then also dealing with the body and many members. Everybody has their office. One brother might be into the Hebrew, geography, history. This brother might be more into mindset. You know, making sure that everybody's mindset is on point. This brother might be good with reading body language. This brother might be into herbs. And everybody comes together essentially like the spiritual Avengers. Everybody is bringing their talent to the table, and we're progressing towards what? The kingdom of heaven. You see? And then also, let me get another scripture on dealing with pairs. Let me do it like this. Okay. Wow. Didn't realize there was this many scriptures. Matthew 18-20, it says, for where two, and this in red, you can't see it, but when you go to it, it's Yahushua speaking. Matthew 18-20, for where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, which shows the importance of the name as well, all right, Yahweh Shemel Shai, there am I in the midst of them. Now, it's not to say that, the Lord isn't, once again, you have certain scenarios where a man will be by himself. It's not saying the Lord ain't there. That's not what this is saying, but for the most part, when you deal with camps or with brothers and teaching and, like out on the streets, it's what? 2 or more brothers. There I am in the midst of them. And just, the Lord ain't dealing with that lone wolf mentality, man. All right, and even with the disciples who later became apostles, put yourself in one of their shoes. There was 11 other brothers there with them. All right, who you were able to break bread with, able to talk to for advice. All right. Don't neglect that, especially if you find yourself in a camp. You're in a camp. You should be tapping in with brothers, especially brothers that have been in longer than you. I know when we go out of town, which that's the whole point of us going out of town, is to learn, right? We converse with other men who teach the same doctrine. We might go, of course, to Memphis, which there are heads, and we always come back with more knowledge. All right, not to mention the trip is always a big a faith booster, an emotional booster. We've never came back from a Memphis trip and been depressed. We might have went there depressed, but we came back happy. Now, then, of course, that week might be some bullshit, that Monday through Friday, but it's all worth it. So you got to tap in, you got to lock in with brothers, man. Get it while you can. And the same with studying and fasting. Make sure you're fasting. Make sure you're studying. Watch your videos, man. Read. You might not always have a Bible. Pretty soon they're going to cut the internet, bro. You're not going to be able to watch videos no more. So don't neglect them now. Which ultimately, that's what this lesson ended up being about. Don't neglect these things. Don't neglect your resources. All right? Because Philippians 2:12 will forever and always say, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right? And that there's so many aspects to working out your salvation beyond just knowing, certain scriptures. All right? It goes into application. It goes into fellowship, charity. You got to be praying. You got to be fasting. Okay? Got to be willing to sacrifice. You got to be consistent. Okay? Consistent, persistent, on fire. But you got to make sure that you're locking in with bros, man. Now, we understand brothers, have things to do sometimes and things pop up. Brothers might, of course, actually be drained, certain nights or after camp. But when you start to see a habit that you're like, okay, it's been a month and I have not been around brothers one time, other than, of course, for camp. But, I haven't fellowshipped in a month. There's a problem. Okay, there's definitely a problem. You want to make sure that you're getting involved with the brothers as much as you can. Especially when everybody's going to be there. All right? When that most of the camp is going to be going out to eat and breaking bread at a brother's crib, you shouldn't be the only one I'm going to go home, and then you get home and you just watching cartoons. We got to make sure we're using our time wisely. All right? Now, if you watch cartoons, that's what you do, but you could do that on a different time. But there's, like I said, every situation and all that varies, because the brother that's watching cartoons at the crib, he might have a fucking ailment. He might be sick. Maybe he's in the bed. That's different. All right. But if it applies to you, then it applies to you. It's definitely applied to me. There's times where I should have hung out with brothers and I didn't. And I regret it. But it's not too late to tap in. It's not too late to fellowship. Okay? And speaking personally, I believe, our camp does fellowship well. Every brother in the camp, is around. And fellowshipping and building a bond in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Growing. All right? Giving out advice. Counsel. Having discussions, brothers venting, all that, And I recommend and I encourage other brothers to do the same. Not to say we're some example camp, we're the youngest camp in Great Millstone, but which ultimately we really got that example from all you brothers out there. But we got to make sure we're locked in, man. All right, because like the scriptures say, that time is short. There's not a whole lot of time left. Don't let sit, because that's one of the ways. Because what do the scriptures say? Yahweh Shai told Peter, what? Satan hath desired to sift you like wheat. Sometimes you're looking at the most obvious things. While I'm still doing my videos, I'm still praying and fasting, so I'm not getting sifted. No, Satan, look, he has a lot of ways to sift you, man. A lot of ways. And especially the more that you might have an idle mind, or the more you might be by yourself, he's going to pick you off. You see? He's going to mess with you. Which ultimately Satan is messing with all of us, but we need to put on the whole armor. You can't have no weaknesses, what does that ultimately go to? Circumspect, circumference, 360, all around. You got to be paying attention to everything, man. Satan can sift you with a lot of different things. All right, and Yahweh Ratazah, we don't fall victim to the sifter. Which ultimately, if we're part of the elect, we're not going to. As Yahweh Shai said, no, none of the elect are going to be plucked out of my Father's hand. Okay? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I don't want to ramble too damn much. I know I've been talking a lot, but just trying to stress the importance of, not neglecting your resources. Basically everything, but especially the brotherhood. You utilize it. Ask for help. Don't be scared to ask for help. That's one thing I had to learn too. It's really it's prideful, right? When you realize you can't do something and you're like, nah, I ain't gonna ask no brothers, man. It's prideful, all right? Now if you can do it on your own, then yeah, but don't be scared to ask brothers for help, man. Don't be afraid to allow other brothers to get charity in. All right? Don't be afraid to, tell brothers, what's going on in your life. All right? You ain't got to be a closed book. We're not saying, make a brother your therapist, but at the same time, sometimes you need to talk to somebody. And who better to talk to than a brother? Somebody that would actually understand what you're going through. All right? Because they're going through the same fucking thing. All right? So Lord willing, this will edify to your elect. Call Allah Yahweh Shemel Shai. Shalom.